Hello everyone and welcome back for some more Drag Race gossip, secrets and drama. So I know how much you all love the drama and all of the backstage tea, so I thought I'd bring you some more of what you love. So here are 7 insane secrets from behind the scenes on RuPaul's Drag Race. Please note that a spoiler alert is in place for this video. Please make sure you hit subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for my future videos. The unused phone call. Trixie Mattel competed on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race US and also All Stars 3. Trixie actually spilt an interesting piece of behind the scenes tea during an interview. Apparently, Trixie won a phone call back home because she won the reading challenge in episode 9. And Trixie gave Ginger the phone call because Ginger was missing her husband a lot and Trixie had just been home because she got eliminated from the competition and then came back in, so she gave her call to Ginger. But they never actually used the footage, and Trixie said she felt really shaded, and not because she wanted credit, but just because it was a really beautiful moment that she gave to Ginger. Production secrets. Jimbo appeared on Canada's Drag Race Season 1 and also on UK vs. the World. Jimbo said that during episode 1, when Lemon was in the bottom and Jimbo was in the top, apparently when they were doing the deliberations when they were talking to all the queens, Jimbo said to Lemon that she wasn't going to eliminate her because she loves Lemon and she's her Canadian sister. But apparently production stepped in and said to Jimbo that Jimbo needed to add more, quote, mystery and make it a bit less obvious that Jimbo wasn't going to pick Lemon to go home. And on a similar note, Lemon also talked about her time on UK vs. the World, and Lemon revealed that she performed her talent show twice, and her jump split off the box was, quote, messy the first time, but the second time it was perfect. But the editors clearly chose to use the messy take. And Lemon said that this choice for the editors to use the messy take was, quote, interesting. The Unaired Confrontation. So you may remember that on season 6 at the finale, they did this thing that they've never really done before or since, where they got Adore, Delano and Hydrangea Estranja in a room together, and they made them watch some of the footage from the show and Untucked. And it was really uncomfortable because they showed mainly the confrontation between Adore and Hydrangea during Untucked, where they had a big argument, and basically everyone was accusing Hydrangea of being fake. And the whole point was because Adore and Hydrangea were supposed to have been friends before the show, and this thing kind of caused a lot of problems between the two of them. And during this confrontation, both of them got visibly upset, and they have both since said that this was a really shady thing for the production to do because they didn't quite know that it was going to be as intense as it was. But something that was interesting was, one time in an interview, Bianca Del Rio, who was also on season 6, actually shared some interesting tea and said that they filmed similar confrontations between Ben de la Creme and Darian Lake, and also Courtney Act and Jocelyn Fox, but these two confrontations were never shown at the reunion. Impersonating a queen. Naysha Lopez competed on season 8 of Drag Race US. Naysha Lopez is a regular host at Roscoe's Tavern's viewing parties, which has become quite a big staple of Drag Race, which is when they invite queens from the show to come to Roscoe's, which is a club in Chicago, and they watch episodes of Drag Race, and then they often spill quite a lot of behind the scenes tea during these viewing parties. And during the parties, Naysha spilled a really interesting story about a queen, a fellow Drag Race queen, who had impersonated Naysha and almost got her kicked off the show. So Naysha told the story but never at the beginning said actually who it was. And apparently Naysha, when she originally got the call for season, I think she originally applied for season 7, she actually called one of her friends who had previously been on another season of Drag Race Race, and she asked this queen about all the different procedure they have to do, for example, all of the different paperwork, and they have to do a psych evaluation and things like that, and the other queen was giving some advice. But then Naysha said that she got contacted by the production team, and apparently someone had been going around pretending to be Naysha and asking a load of designers to design clothing for her for free for Drag Race. And Naysha said that it wasn't her, she hadn't told anyone about it because obviously it's all a secret about what the runways are. And basically Naysha effectively, because of all this, wasn't allowed to compete on season 7. But then she cleared her name and proved that it wasn't her that did all of this, someone else was impersonating her, and she eventually then appeared on season 8. And at a different viewing party, Naysha eventually confirmed that this queen who had been impersonating her in order to get free stuff was Jade Sotomayor, who appeared in season 1. The trash outfit. Kandy Muse appeared on season 13 of Drag Race US. Kandy was once asked in an interview to spill some behind-the-scenes tea from her season, and she told a really interesting story that involved her fellow contestant Gottmik. Apparently during the episode 5 bag ball, between changing the outfits, because they had to do 3 outfits, when they came back to change for their final outfit, which was the outfit they made, Gottmik couldn't find the outfit at her station that she had made. Kandy said that apparently what actually happened was that the cleaners came in to clean the workstations while the queens were changing, and apparently they had taken Gottmik's outfit and they had mistaken it for, quote, scraps, and they had thrown it in the trash, which is why Gottmik couldn't find it. And obviously this is just really interesting and kind of funny that they thought that Gottmik's outfit was scraps and threw it away, and Gottmik ended up winning this bag ball challenge. RuPaul forgets queens' names. Over the years, there's been quite a few instances where RuPaul has forgotten the names of queens, and other queens have also spilt tea saying that RuPaul doesn't remember their name. But at DragCon, RuPaul was with the other All-Stars 7 cast, and at one point he turned to Jinx Monsoon and just said, "What's your name?" And this was a really funny moment, but obviously a lot of people were really confused that he had forgotten Jinx's name because Jinx won her season and was so iconic. And Jinx discussed this moment on Twitter and was saying that she doesn't really blame RuPaul because RuPaul has always been really nice to her and supportive, but she meets so many different queens that it's kind of not surprising she forgets people's names. But what was also interesting was that Ben de la Creme, who is very good friends with Jinx, actually talked about this subject during a live video. And Ben de la Creme said that RuPaul, quote, doesn't know any of the queens' names. And Ben de la Creme also shared an interesting story, and apparently during the recording of All Stars 3, who Shangela was also one of the contestants along with Ben de la Creme, apparently RuPaul at one point turned to Shangela during the taping of the first episode and just said, quote, "Haven't you been here before?" And Ben de la Creme said that this was funny obviously for 2 reasons. One, because Shangela is obviously so iconic and has been on so many seasons, it's funny that RuPaul doesn't remember her name, but also it was an All-Stars season, so obviously they had all been there before because it was All-Stars. Post-elimination shade. Blue Hydrangea competed on season 1 of Drag Race UK and also competed on UK versus the World. During an interview, Blue actually shared a really interesting piece of tea about the filming of UK versus the World. Blue said that one day they were in the hotel and it was after Jimbo had been eliminated and Jimbo was still in the hotel, which is interesting because it implies as though the queens stay in the hotel even once they've been eliminated. But also apparently when they were at breakfast, Jimbo turned to Blue and said, "You better win Snatch Game this episode and you better send Pangina home." And this is because Pangina, the episode before, had sent Jimbo home and Jimbo was obviously bitter about it. And then that episode was the Snatch Game, and Blue ended up winning that episode and ended up being in a position to send Pangina home, which did actually happen. So that's just a really interesting kind of foreshadowing moment where Blue originally didn't think she would ever be in a position to eliminate Pangina. So when Jimbo said that, Blue didn't really think anything of it, but that is exactly what ended up happening. So there you go, there were 7 more interesting facts from behind the scenes of RuPaul's Drag Race. Did you know any of these facts already? Which ones did you know and which ones were a surprise to you? Let me know in the comments. As usual, please make sure you like, comment and subscribe to this channel if you liked this video. Currently less than 7% of people watching are actually subscribed to my channel, which makes me so sad, so please just subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to get notified for my future videos. Thank you for watching and I hope you'll join me again in the future. Thank you, bye!